to have the privilege of having the job of making the roads safe. That's rewarding for me. Getting through a storm and seeing the final product of what you've done. It's something I take pride in, and because of it being a challenge, it's something I enjoy doing.
Great.
We're going to speak together because they turned off the heat. Y'all want to go home.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, I'm Matt Lynch. I am currently on the 11th District Court of Appeals. Sarah and I are your Republican candidates for the Court of Appeals. The Court of Appeals is an extraordinarily important court. It is the court that the common police court and the city courts appeal to. If you don't like what the lower court does, you go to the Court of Appeals. If you don't like what we do, you go to the Ohio Supreme Court. But you probably won't. Because of the 350-some cases that we had last year, only 2 were accepted by the Ohio Supreme Court. They have to agree to take your case, and they don't take most of them, over 96%. Never get the Ohio Supreme Court. What does that mean? That means your appellate court judges, in effect, are your Supreme Court. Because we're the last word. So it's important to have good, constitutional, conservative judges on that court. I'll just say quickly so you can meet Sarah here. I'll give you these numbers. 192 federal judges have been appointed by President Trump. There are only 870 federal judges. That means almost 25% have been appointed by President Trump. How many Republicans think that's going to make a difference?
Oh, yeah.
That's going to make a big difference. I'll give you another set of numbers. One Republican out of 5 on the 11th District Court of Appeals. That'd be me. I'm going to stay there another 2 years if you'd like me in November. We don't have candidates now, so remember Matt Lynch in November, and now my friend Sarah Kovoor.
Good evening, everybody. I apologize for my voice in advance. Thank you, Nancy MacArthur, Chairwoman, and the Geauga County GOP. I reside in Trumbull County. However, Geauga County I consider my second home now because my mother and my relatives retired from New York State to Geauga County by Westchester Trail. So I come here quite often. I really enjoy coming here because it is so beautiful. It reminds me of Rye, New York, Westchester County, where I grew up. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I see some friendly faces here, but most of you do not know me. I'm a former Trumbull County felony assistant prosecutor. I have been a defense attorney for 15 years. I've practiced for over 22 years in almost every level of court, from juvenile court to and I'm also admitted to the U.S. Supreme Court. I've had landmark cases in and outside of Ohio, including those that have supported your Second Amendment rights. I have been, like I said, on both sides of the case, both as a prosecutor and as a defense attorney. I also have 2 out of my 3 children who are in law enforcement as federal attorneys. I have done appointed cases to help those people who could not afford their own private attorneys, and I have come before you to ask you to learn a little bit more about me. I have some material here, and to go onto my website and see if I have the qualifications that you would want for your appellate court judge. I have had a lifetime of experience both in pursuing justice as a prosecutor and as defense counsel, as well as defending your civil liberties. I have lived the American dream. I will answer the question that most people come up to me after a session, which is what background are you? They come politely and ask me. I came as a 7-year-old with my parents from India. Like John, my family was in the very southern tip of India, which was communist. It was a multi-party system. My father had studied, he was a physicist. He had studied both in Paris and in Toronto, and decided to make America his home for his family because he believed this was the future. And I believe that his dreams did come true because I have now 3 children and 3 grandchildren here. As a naturalized citizen, I feel very important that we show diversity in our party and diversity in the court. And I have spent over 22 years defending our fundamental rights as citizens. I believe in not legislating from the bench, and that the judges should follow the letter of the law and not an interpretation of it. That becomes very dangerous, as you've seen activist judges in the news, and you need a check in the appellate court to control that, because you don't want somebody's view of the world to be making the decision on your dispute. Judges are very important. We came last here. We're often last on the ballot. We will, believe me, if you have a dispute, the appellate courts are usually the last resort. And you will need to know that you have one. Every person I've ever spoken to, and I've done everything from juvenile to capital cases, wants a fair and impartial person deciding their case. They don't want somebody who's made up their mind before they enter there. They want counsel who are prepared and effective, and they want their day in court. That's what I would give you. Thank you so much. My name is Sarah Thompson.